Alright, we're watching Rushium, who's going to be playing Winston on Busan. This is Silver 2. I don't know if this is PC or console. I'm going to assume it's PC for now. Before I go any further, I would like to thank out the anonymous person who donated 3 copies to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Always really nice to see those notifications. Okay, cool. What'd you say? I did pretty bad this game. I'm looking for some feedback. I realized my dives were bad. I noticed I abandoned my supports a lot. Another thing was that I couldn't make space. Any feedback's appreciated. Please point out anything else I was doing wrong, as I'm sure there are more mistakes I made. Okay, let's run this out the gate. So you have a Moira and a Lucio. Not the best healing combo. I think you really want an Ana here, but it's workable, right? The thing you have to think about here is your healers are both short range, so you have to come back to them a lot more to get healing, and you're gonna get a lot less healing when you get into the fight. That's number one. Number two is as soon as these gates open, don't walk to the left. Just jump straight here, right? Because you really want to get out as soon as possible to see what they have and then start positioning. Okay, going to the left only slows you down because you just walk to the left and you don't use your jump at all. Your jump will come back in time for that first jump of the game. Oh, you're playing going coast. Okay, that's super unusual. All right, so you should not go coast. Okay, why? Because coast isn't actually helpful. So coast is low ground over here, and you don't have good angles to do anything. Versus coming up top, this is high ground. If you control high ground, like let's imagine you have one team that's up here, and you have one team that's down here. Which team is going to win? Probably a team that's high ground, right? Because they're going to go here, they're going to walk on top of the the catwalk, and they're going to shoot down, and they're going to win the fight. Well, probably, right? It's a significant advantage. So you should, at the minimum, deny them from taking high ground over the point, which is why you should go main and not outside, right? Basically, no team ever goes coast. This is super, super unusual. You do have a tracer, which is good. Take a dive. So you see the Torb. You don't want to mess with the Torb. It's just not a good fight. Torb can beat you, pretty much beat you 1v1. Torb with a turret can definitely beat you 1v1. Unless your tracer is like ready to deal with this as well, I would not dive here. So you really want to be going for the juicier targets, right? People who can't really fight back. The Zenyatta, this is a great game for Winston. The Zenyatta, the Mercy, okay, both really easy to dive. Zarya basically can't do anything with you. Genji, excellent dive target as Winston. These heroes are the ones that you want to be attacking, okay? Not the Torb, right? Definitely don't go after the Torb. But you see you're out of position, and then you go after the Torb. So you see that the Torb right now has 350 health, right? Slightly less after 337 after you land on him, and he can just absolutely shred you at close range, right? He does what is it, like 80 damage per shot per left click, something like that? Because I think it one taps a tracer if you shoot them in the head, in that ballpark, right? With his left clicks, he can kill you so fast, just like continually shooting you in the face. This is not a good matchup at all. So I think an important part of Winston is understanding, I would say, of all heroes and all roles, understanding what fights can I win and what fights will I lose. You're going to lose this fight. Right. Okay, you bubble him, great, but like nothing's actually accomplished here, right here, okay? And he gets the mini. You see how you're at 340, you're at 240. He's still at 200, right? You're at 128, 80, 90, 40, 50, 60. Like this is, you've basically already lost the fight because of this. Even though you had bubble, right? I would point out, even though you had bubble here and you zapped them with the bubble, you're still not winning the fight. You know what I mean? Like this is a huge mistake by you. If your Lucia hadn't come, you just would have straight up died. And then use bubble here. Nothing after this is gonna matter probably because you've already lost the fight by picking that fight. All right, you come back to the Moira. You get healed. You're already down one. They have point control. You should wait with the Moira to get fully healed. You really want the extra health at the end because the extra health is armor, which takes 30% less damage than health. So the first 50 of your health is less valuable in terms of like damage mitigation than the last 50 of your health because of the nature of way armor works. And if you don't know how armor works, you should look it up on the wiki. Alright, so we can also see from here that your jump mechanics are no good, and I think you should practice a ton to get this, okay? So right here, where's the correct place to land? You want to land right on the Genji, okay? In this situation, especially since your tracer's low, you want to land in front of the Genji to prevent him from doing any further damage to the tracer. Instead, let's watch where you actually end up landing. Okay, because again, it does maximum 50 damage when you land on them. If you go past them, or short of them, then the damage decreases the further away from the center point. So you see how you land over here, and you don't even damage the Genji at all. You jump way too far. So there's a great video, I'll link it, for Karkyu's Primal Rage Guide, which also tells you how to do every kind of jump, right? And how to do short jumps, long jumps, normal jumps, etc. You should practice those a ton. If you want to get good at Winston, you must learn these skills. Winston, while his like aim is not really a thing that matters, his jump mechanics are crucial and will differentiate good, great, okay, and below average Winstons from each other. You must learn how to perfectly jump from any spot to any other spot. Okay, like if I want you to land on this piece of glass, you should be able to do that. Right? Not that I'm saying that's particularly relevant, but I'm saying that that's the precision that you need. You want to land on this glass, not next to it, right? Not here, not here, not here, not short. On the glass is the precision that you're going to need as Winston. So, by not landing on the Genji, you gave up 50 damage. Also, when you land, you can do the melee right before you land, and it's the melee animation is canceled by landing, so that's 80 damage that you just gave up on this Genji. So he would be at 100 health instead of 180. And that obviously makes a big difference. And your tracer dies because you don't land in front of the protector. That's big. So you pop bubble here, even though I guess you sort of need it because the Zen's patching you. But this fight's already over, right? Because you already lost. You lost your Lucio initially. Now you've lost your tracer. You're super low. You should not stay alive here. Okay, just fight. Just fight and die. So an important part of playing the game in general is understanding, are we going to win this fight? Are we going to lose this fight? And if we're going to lose this fight, how do I speed that up as much as possible? That way you can come back and meet up with your team and fight again, right? It's called staggering. So this is not a bubble that you need. Again, your Hanzo's like kind of low, but as soon as you step in front, like the Zarya's clearly not trying to kill him anymore. You want to save bubbles, right? Bubble has a very long cooldown. If you don't have bubbles, it strongly restricts what you can do. Okay, just zap here. Just zap. Or your left click, right? Just left click here. Yeah, left clicker. Yeah, there you go. Right, she's low, follow her down. Yeah, that's fine. Again, don't put bubble. You just put double down because you're like, hey, maybe I'll just put all down. Nothing's actually shooting at you right now, okay? It's like the turret's there, but you're already around the corner. There's no reason to put this bubble down. This is a total wasted bubble. Now, you see over here, this Zen is super out of position. You can solo a Zen easily. Okay, you should be looking at full health. You can easily solo a Zen. Actually, I think this is controller, would be my guess. My console, rather. Alright, so there's like a lot of confusion here. Again, you don't want to fight Zarya. As a Winston, you definitely don't want to fight tanks. You're the worst tank fighter in the game. Of tanks, at least. You really do not want to fight tanks. For perspective, your Tesla cannon, right? The regular left click, not the right click, the charge stat, but the regular cleave attack, only does 60 damage per second. Mercy's pistol gun does like 90 to 100 damage per second. You have like one of the worst single target weapons in the entire game, if not the worst single target weapon of the game. I think Torb's hammer actually does more damage per second than your than your cleave does. So you want to be hitting as many targets as possible, and preferably low health targets, not tanks. Do not fight tanks. Very important. So where's pop coalescence here? Okay, unfortunate. I think popping bubble here is reasonable. Yep. Okay, now what you want to do here is you should do a short hop into the Genji, which again does 50 damage, plus the 30 for melee is 80 damage. That would leave him with like 100, rather like 20, 30 health left. It would leave him 15 health left if you did it correctly, right here, which he would die in under a second. Zen pops trance. Okay, you kind of jump upwards into the lava. Again, at this point, just keep following them, right? Like this fight's basically over, so you just want to farm roll charge. How do I know that's over? Because I'm looking at the kill feed. Right? Even in game, I know it's going to be hard, especially if you're doing Overwatch, to look at the kill feed. Very important to look at the kill feed. Right? So you see, Hanzo's died right now. Right? There goes your Sojourn. Like, this fight's already over. Like, you're not going to win. And that comes with just experience, right? I have, 1,000+ hours of Overwatch, so I have a pretty good feel for when I'm going to win or lose fights. Alright, you're going to come out here. Again, you should use jump at the start, right? Always use jump at the start. Get to the fight faster. Very, very important. So you can start taking space. No reason not to. Again, think about dive targets, okay? You don't want to go for the Torb. You don't want to go for the Zarya. You want to go for the Hanzo or the Mercy or the Zenyatta. Okay? Very, very important. So this jump is okay. I think the thing is that Hanzo can actually do a lot of damage to you at close range, and this is actually the bubble's like basically perfect for the turret. Your team like isn't really able to help you here though. Like you see how far back in the corner you are, and like you could potentially be in a lot of trouble here. It's not the worst jump ever, but it's okay. Yeah, you kill the Hanzo. I think it's actually able to work pretty well. Yep, jump back. This is good. Right, find your Moira. Get healed by the Moira. Where's the Moira? Yeah. Yep, bubble. That's fine. Yep. Stop shooting over. Yeah. Okay, fine. It's fine. Just now jump. Now you jump and kill her. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Keep zapping. Keep zapping. Keep zapping, and then use melee to cancel it. Finish. You should always use melee to finish killing people. It's faster than zapping them down. It saves you like a third of a second or so. Okay, so good opportunity right now. You see the Hanzo's busy. Just jump in on the Hanzo, bubble him so that the Zenyatta can't attack you, and just keep attacking the Hanzo. You can dive here. You can definitely dive here. You know that they lost their Torp, right? And the Zarya just died because you killed the Zarya. So this is bad. This is a bad jump because now you're jumping into the middle of the whole team. Right? You see how you don't accomplish anything there? You should have taken that early opportunity. You need to recognize like who is basically overextended on their team and who can I jump. I can't imagine that was an intentional jump the way that just worked, but we'll take it. Alright, Torb's low. Alright, melee kill, good. So, right now, coming back to the point, you have 290 health and no bubble. You should not be trying to fight right now. Okay? You should be trying to delay. So, what I would do in this situation is I would basically zap a little bit to make him turn and immediately jump and hide behind the drum. And wait for my supports or whomever to come back and help me out. All right, where is your Moira? Oh, she's like all the way over here. That's weird. Okay, in that case, I think what I would actually do is I would jump over here onto the Moira and then get her to heal me up. Because just walking there, you see how you just kind of walk up here and you take a lot. You should already be dead, honestly. 130, 70, 10, dead. Okay. Very important to play your life, right? You already have point control, so the whole point is to stay alive as long as you possibly can, right? As opposed to normally, where I don't have point control, I want to die as fast as possible once the fight is over. Once you have point, you want to control it as long as you can, even that means dying on it. Alright, so they have a Bastion now, which you're going to find out pretty soon. Definitely never die Bastion. Bastion's going to absolutely shred you, especially in tank form. So right now, you can't do anything right now. That's one thing to recognize as Winston. It's like recognize the limit of your capabilities. Right now, 5 people bunched up, you can't do anything. You have to wait for them to split up. Okay, Zen's isolated right now. I would jump the Zen, put bubble down, and then kill him inside the bubble. Okay, but you see how your jump is short? That landing damage is a lot more important than you realize. Right? Because if you think about it, landing does 50 damage if you do it perfectly. You do 60 damage a second. So landing almost shaves a whole second off the kill time for the enemy target. So, would strongly recommend that you make sure to land on them. Okay, this Mercy's nuts. Great. You guys basically want this. Alright, go on the point. Yep. So one thing is you should recognize how big your collision hitbox is. So when you jump here, I noticed this a few times, you're gonna collide into the top of the pagoda. I don't know if this is technically a pagoda, but whatever it is. You collide to the beams here, which then knocks you down. Right? So just aim a little lower, recognizing that you have a head hitbox as well that you can climb into. Don't put bubble down. Right? You just randomly put this bubble down again. Like, no one's looking at you, it's not necessary. Alright, cooldowns are very, very important. Alright, so right now you should be scouting, figure out where they're going. Moira's popped Coalescence. Not a lot you can do right now. I think, especially considering this is overtime, like, you just kind of figure out where they're going and shut them down and prevent them getting a point. I don't think they're going to touch, though. Somebody's managed to get the point. Alright. So you jump. Echo's too high in the air. I wouldn't have done this jump at all because she's too high up. Okay, you go in right now. This is fine. They pop Trance. You pop Primal. So I think you didn't necessarily need Primal quite yet. Yeah, you were at 440. I would have actually waited I would have waited 396. Yeah, 396. You didn't need pop primal. Yeah, I would have waited and just absorbed a little more damage because primal resets your health back to 1,000 no matter what. So if you don't need to right away, I would have just like tried to dodge a little bit, see if I can get another jump in before I pop primal. So your primal mechanics most likely are going to be terrible. It is very rare to see people with good primal mechanics below, I would say, diamond. So again, the guy I linked will talk about this, but it's very important to use primal to get kills and to juggle people around. But it's also very hard to do that. Primal is one of the hardest. Primal Rage is one of the hardest abilities in the game to use, in my opinion. I think it's significantly harder to use than Genji Blade. Imagine Genji Blade, but you have to hit them 4 times in order to get a kill. But you attack, you know, twice as fast. Okay, again, default rollout for this map is to go up this way. Like, you always kind of do your own thing, which I assume is probably a result of inexperience. Default rollout is to come up this way and take high ground. Always take high ground if you get the chance, right? Don't go low ground unnecessarily. Also jump when you come out of spawn. See? You see how slow you are now that you're trying to regroup with your team? I feel like you just don't know the map well. You're like, oh wait, should I go up that way? And the hesitation. So not getting out there in time is going to be an issue. They have a hog now. So again, you don't want to mess with the hog. You're not good at fighting tanks. You want to go for the back line. Used hook. Once you saw him use hook, that was your opportunity to dive. Okay, you actually saw that before you dropped. Once I saw him use hook, then I would jump over into backline. But people are dead right now. You've lost 2. Right, you killed 1, but I got res, so you're down 2 right now. There's basically nothing you can do at this point, and you die. So again, what should you have done differently? First of all, you should have been with your team. Right? Like, you're basically like 10 seconds plus behind the team. You see how far back you are right now? Like, you should be here, if not here by now, if you jumped out of spawn. And then you go, you scout that they have a hog, okay? You wait for him to hook or get out of position. Then you get right around here. You see how your team is like fighting them in the back line, right? That's where you should be right now, is fighting the team with your teammates. But instead, you're like way out of position. Once he uses that hook, time to go, right? Jump. You would have killed the Zen instantly, right? Then you could have killed the Mercy, right? And then everything would have gotten much, much better. But instead, you basically just sit here doing nothing because you're not really sure what to do. And then you're going to get shredded here. Winston is playable in the hog, but you have to know what to do, right? You definitely, this is a bad bubble. Again, this bubble's not going to accomplish anything, right? It just gets killed quickly. Nothing, no space was taken, right? And that's one of the things you commented, is that you don't take any space. You don't take any space because you're not taking good fights, okay? Jumping into this choke into a Cassie and a Winston is going to get you killed. So what you should do is you should go this way. This is the time where you can flank. Go this way and then out, and then go for the Zen, for example, or go for the Sim, right? Or take the underneath path, right? That would also be okay. There's lots of options here that are not run at the hog. So normally, if this happens, if the Reaper gets hooked, I would jump immediately and try to put down bubble to save the Reaper. Okay, you drop in. Zap, 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 zap. Zen's killable. Great. You jump. It's a good job. You kill the Zen. You got out. You gotta regroup with your team right now. I would kill this turret while you're up here. It's okay. Like, you lost 2, but at least you have high ground right now. So don't drop. Don't do anything crazy. There's no way you're gonna take this point. You currently have 233 health, and there's no healers here. This is just gonna result in you dying. And again, normally I'm like, oh, die when the fight's over, but you can get out easily, right? Just jump back over here and come back. And that's actually important because that 300 missing health you have turns into support ult charge. Okay, supports get ult charge when they heal people. So if you come back, you feed 300 points to your support, which will help them build coalescence faster, which will help you win fights. So again, scout, figure out where the hog is. Hog's playing the same spot as always. Don't even mess with this. Don't even bubble. Just walk anywhere but at this hog. Right, I think you kind of realize it this time. It takes you a while to kind of like click with you as to like what to do though, and I think that's, you know, time is very important in Overwatch. So again, jump mechanics, you kind of, I don't know what this jump is, but you like clip the side of this wall and do this. I don't think that's intentional. Now you don't have jump, which is really unfortunate because you can't really initiate. You're out of sync with your team who have already gone in. Again, lots of people are killable here. Jump. So right here, if you do a short jump, you could insta-kill the Cassidy and the Zenyatta right now. This is 2 kills right here. Instead, you kind of zap the ground for a while. You don't use your jump. jump now, but he has high noon, so you're just gonna get killed right away. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to give you a lot of advice because I don't think, I assume you're pretty new to Overwatch because it doesn't seem like you know what abilities are or like how much damage you will do. Once again, you see the hog, you try to fight the hog for some reason. Same, you know, same result as always, right? You try to walk at the hog, you don't accomplish anything. Well, I don't know how you missed that one shot. And you're kind of messing around because you can't actually get to the point, and it ends. So, you know, I would say number one, it just looks like you just don't have a lot of experience with Overwatch. You know, it doesn't really feel like you really know the map layouts or the regular rollouts to do. So I think just playing more will help. One. Two is jumping mechanics, making sure to land on targets that you're trying to kill. Three, timing of when you go in is very, very important. Like, you need to scout what the situation is and can I safely jump into this and then jump into it. Okay? And yeah, I mean, I think those are the biggest ones, right? Simply like jumping mechanics and deciding like when you can go in. There's obviously like a bunch of other tips here, but to keep things straightforward, because I mean you're in silver, right? So there's like only so much feedback I can give you. But overall, I would say number one is make sure you land where you want to land, okay? And in particular, increase your capacity. Like when I pointed out the insta kill opportunity, like that's so obvious to me as somebody who has, I don't know, 200 hours of Winston or whatever, right? Like right here. Like, I see this, and I'm like, hey, as soon as the Zen kicks me back, I'm like, great, now I'm going to jump. So what you do here is that you point your mouse straight down, and then you jump, and you make a very short jump into them. And then you can melee as well to make sure that the Cassidy dies. But they would both instantly die here, is what should happen in this situation. And being able to execute those kills is very important. I suggest you playing Winston in like deathmatch, for example, to practice him so that you get used to like fighting and killing heroes. We didn't talk about bubble dance or anything because it honestly didn't come up very often. Oh, your bubble usage in general is very poor. I would point that out. You often pop bubble for seemingly no reason, or like at the slightest bit of damage. You can take a little bit of damage and not need to pop bubble, right? Think about bubble as how can I use this bubble to damage the enemy? Not how do I just put this bubble up so that my team can walk through it? That's not your job. Right? Not as Winston. You want to do that? Play Ryan or somebody else. Frankly, none of the things really is that their job. But especially in Winston, you should use the bubble generally selfishly so that you can do more damage. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful.